Travis Scott. Travis Scott just gets hit with another major lawsuit. You guys know that Travis Scott and Drake are having the blues right now. This is a big mess. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Travis Scott, Drake, Astroworld, and that massive lawsuit. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day, under one condition. The condition is that we are Black first. Black first means that we put our community at the top of our priority list. Black first means that we also believe in the be one philosophy, which means we know we must be one to be successful. And our kids are going to be number one when it comes to economics because we're so obsessed about this. So I want to say hello to Takesha and Kamal. I see you both in here. Give me a yes or no. How many of you heard about the recent lawsuit that was just filed today against Travis Scott, Live Nation, Apple Music, Drake, and damn near everybody else who was involved with Astroworld? Did you give me a yes or no if you heard about this lawsuit? This lawsuit is a new $2 billion lawsuit. Billion with a B, billion. Rappers can rap about, hundreds. They can rap about thousands. Some of them can rap about millions, but I don't think too many of them have rapped about billions before. And so if this lawsuit goes through, and if Travis Scott is not able to escape this lawsuit, he will go broke. If Drake is not able to escape this lawsuit, he will go broke. Let me just tell you, in fact, let me see what's Drake's net worth. Drake's net worth in 2021 is $200 million. So Drake is a wealthy guy, very talented, worth a lot of money. But even this lawsuit is enough to make Drake go broke. I think Travis Scott's net worth is a lot lower than Drake's. Let me see. Travis Scott's net worth is, drum roll please, $60 million. So $60 million. And I guess that's what comes with hanging out with the Kardashians. So you become a Kardashian, that's an instant come up. So I don't think I would ever want to date a Kardashian, but hey, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. So last week you had this thing called Astroworld that went down, and a lot of y'all know about this. I don't have to recap it too much in case you weren't aware, in case you were under a rock. Astroworld was kind of a minstrel show gone bad. It was the deadliest minstrel show on earth. And I say it that way because we know that a lot of hip hop has gotten to the point of being straight clownery, just kind of silly, just, guys just really trying to outdo each other. There's a historical context to this. Don't forget that Dr. Claude Anderson explained that even back on the slave plantations, that slaves used to try to get attention from the master by being as outrageous as they could be. So a lot of this is really just a continuation within the field of hip hop, where crowds full of white people get together, because not a lot of Black people go to Astroworld. Not a lot of Black people go to Astroworld. That's on white folks. And they get together and they pay money to see a Black man just act as silly and as ridiculous as he can, to be as thugged out and as gangster as he can be. And the more of a savage you behave, the more of a cartoon character you are, the more they love you. They love the Black man when he is a cartoon character. And I'm not kidding. Travis Scott, he loves to take pictures. He always poses with his face down. Because y'all notice he never really poses as if he's a normal person who loves his kids and wants to become a rocket scientist. He poses as a guy who's always looks like he's high and he's sitting next to a Kardashian, and apparently that makes him special and successful. That makes him a Black leader. He ain't no leader of mine. No disrespect to Travis, but come on, man. Seriously, the Black man is a lot more than just this doped up drug addict who's running around and doing concerts with demonic symbolism. So anyway, but here's the deal. So Travis Scott's in trouble. Not just him, but Apple Music is in trouble. But they can survive it, of course. Live Nation is in trouble, but they're going to survive it because they're a $25 billion company. Live Nation owns Rock Nation, which is Mr. Jay-Z's company, from what I understand. And according to ET Online, they said Drake, Live Nation, Apple, and Travis Scott and others are now the targets of a $2 billion lawsuit filed by Texas trial attorney Thomas J. Henry on behalf of 280 victims of the fatal event. Another 120 victims have contacted the firm seeking representation for their injuries and damages. So what this is becoming, it's becoming a big money grab. It's becoming a big money grab where basically anybody and everybody who's in Astroworld is eligible for the lawsuit. And this is a problem because a lot of people got hurt. I was watching some of the videos. A lot of people got hurt, and I agree with Sophia, who's saying that it wasn't even his fault. And I will agree with you on that to that extent, because one of the parties in the suit is Apple Music. Apple's being sued because it was their live streaming equipment, apparently, that kept people from being able to get to safety when they were being crushed to death. So as people were being crushed to death at this concert, because they had stuff behind them and they couldn't get out, they couldn't escape because Apple wanted to make as much money as possible by streaming the event and getting the best seats as they could. So while Travis Scott is certainly not the most to blame for this concert, you can't let him off the hook. You can't let it. I know he's black like y'all, but but you can't let him off the hook, because if you do, you forget about this poor kid who got paralyzed as a teenager. I mean, can you imagine? You're a teenager, you got the rest of your life to live, and Travis Scott told this guy to jump off a balcony, and he jumped off a balcony, and now he can't walk for the rest of his life. That means if he's 21 years old, he won't be able to walk at 22 years old, 23 years old, 24 years old, 30 years old, 35 years old, 40 years old, 45 years old, 50 years old, 55 years old, or 60 years old. He won't be able to walk in the year 2060 because he jumped off a balcony because Travis Scott told him so. Now, part of it is you could say, well, it's his fault, right? And I agree with that to some extent, in the sense that, not to say I agree that it was all his fault, but still, somebody tells you to jump off a balcony, don't do it. But at the same time, he was a young teenager, and a lot of teenagers are influenced by hip hop artists. Hip hop artists are the greatest influencers in our society. They can influence your young people to get high on drugs. They can influence your young people to go out and kill each other. They can influence black kids in the hood to do all kinds of stuff. And if you don't believe me, well, remember, this isn't the only hip hop tragedy in the last 2 weeks. You also have this poor brother right here that just got killed today, or this week, Young Dolph. Young Dolph down in Memphis got killed. He's not the only one. 200 rappers have died this year. 200 rappers. So now you got a complete, the complete circle. You've gone full circle with your death culture. Their goal in the early 90s was to turn hip hop into death culture, to train young black men to kill each other, and to create the worst possible image that they possibly could for black people in terms of what they think we look like. The black man has been clearly reduced to a cartoon character, a gay man, or an animal. That's literally what the black man has been reduced to, thanks to the hip hop music you see on the radio. So now you've got rappers dying. 200 rappers died this year. You've got fans dying. Fans died at the Travis Scott concert. You've got people in the hood dying. We've been dying in the hood. I mean, they've been having death in the hood. That happens every week. It just don't make the news no more because nobody cares. And now you've even got white people dying and college students dying going to Travis Scott concerts. So now you got a full circle of death. So maybe some of you who have, for good reason, pointed out some of the interesting symbolism at the Travis Scott concerts, which damn near looked like it looked like some sort of ritual. It did. It looked like a demonic ritual. I know I got my friends that are into metaphysics and everything, and brothers. Shout out to brothers like Black Dot, who wrote the book Hip Hop Decoded, who have talked about the crazy symbolism that was in this concert. Now, did the symbolism kill everybody? I don't know if you can go that far, right? There have been Travis Scott concerts where nobody got killed. This particular case, the reason that people got killed, it appears to me, is because there was very bad planning. So you have the mixture of very toxic, very self-destructive hip hop culture mixed with the greed of white racist capitalism. Capitalist greed is what led Live Nation to sell more tickets than they should have sold. Greed is what led Apple Music to put their cameras to live stream in a position that did not allow people to escape. Capitalist greed is what allowed people to go ahead and keep moving on with the concert, even as people were on the ground dying. That's where Travis might have a problem, is the fact that Travis Scott, from what I understand, did not stop the concert. He continued to perform and did not stop his set, even as people were dying. And there are some people who say, well, yeah, if he had stopped the concert, he wouldn't have got paid. Yeah, but if you're doing your job, if you're working at Burger King and you're flipping burgers and they tell you to keep flipping burgers, but somebody's dying while you're flipping burgers, you're going to stop flipping burgers so you can help the dead guy. You're not going to just let him die just so you can just because they told you to keep flipping burgers. So accountability is critical in this situation. We know accountability is everywhere. And Travis Scott and Drake are both part of this lawsuit. So here's another quick thought. Do me a favor, by the way. Please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, subscribe button. If you haven't done it yet, please do that. I want to mention another interesting thing. So this lawsuit, this $2 billion lawsuit that was just filed, isn't the only headache that they have. This is a follow-up to another lawsuit that was $750 million that was filed just a few days ago. It's $750 million. Attorney Ben Crump, that funny looking guy who blubbers a lot when he talks, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, I'm not a Ben Crump fan. I'm not gonna lie. I know y'all might get mad at me, but I'm not a big fan of Ben Crump. But let me tell you, Ben Crump will show up when it's time to get that money. When it comes to get that money, Ben Crump becomes Donald Trump. When it comes to trying to go chase that money, Ben Crump is like Donald Trump. He will show up and get that money. And Ben Crump has personally filed, from what I understand, over 100 lawsuits in this Astroworld situation alone. Over 100 lawsuits. The attorneys have said that there are hundreds of other victims who haven't even filed yet. So, and you're already on the first $3 billion, 200 billion plus 750 million plus a Ben Crump's 100 lawsuits. That's about $3 billion right there. So you got another 100 and something victims. I don't even think all the dead people are accounted for. Like, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. I don't care what your net worth is. If they decide to go to the fullest extent of the law, it's going to be a problem for everybody involved. The only entities that are going to make it out of this thing financially okay and financially able to continue to move forward, in my view, is going to be Live Nation, because they're worth $25 billion. And truth is that we know that Live Nation, Apple Music, and all these other companies, that they use black people, every year. So if Travis Scott goes down from this, they don't care. Like E40 wrote a song about this 25 years ago called "They'll Find a New Nigga Next Year." And basically in that song, he said, yeah, you're shining right now, but as soon as they don't need you no more, they're going to spit you out and throw you in the garbage. So shout out to E40 and to his sister Sugar T. I've never met E40, but I know Sugar T very well, and they have a very intelligent family, and they don't get used like that. Now, with that said, the last thing I'll say is this. Here's the last point I'll make on some of this. I was on my Instagram, and my Instagram is the Real Boyce Watkins. And one of the points I made on my Instagram was this. I said over 200 rappers have died in the last year alone. Maybe Apple Music and Spotify should stop promoting death in the black community. But Black death appears to be trendy, so just pretend I didn't say that. They've got you dancing along to your own genocide. Now, I made that post after Young Dolph died, RIP to Young Dolph, and anybody else who's probably going to go down as a result of this chaos that's happening in Memphis. But the reality is that your music has become death music. Being a rapper is probably the most dangerous job you can have. I would rather have to serve in the middle of Iraq than to try to be a rapper in this day and age where everybody's putting death on wax, putting spiritual death out into the atmosphere. And like somebody said, one of my friends said this after Tupac died. She said, if all you're doing is rapping about flowers, eventually somebody's going to bring you some roses. So if all you're doing is rapping about flowers, they're going to bring you some roses. So if you're rapping about death, then there's a good chance death might come knocking at your door, because you've been shouting and calling out death the same way they called out Candyman in that horror movie. And if you recall, before Tupac died, all he rapped about was his death. Before Biggie died, all he rapped about was his death. So I would encourage you to consider the fact that there are many spiritual people who will tell you that you will get whatever you're putting out into the universe. So if you are putting death and violence out into the world on a regular basis, then eventually that death is going to come knocking at your door. And speaking of death, we know that we live in a country that has always wanted to take black people out, right? And so how does the government find ways to kill black people? Well, here are a few facts I laid out here. This is also on my Instagram, which is the Real Boyce Watkins. Well, first of all, there's fatty, greasy, sugary processed food, right? So they feed you all this sugary, sickening, fatty, greasy food and make you obese as hell, high blood pressure, diabetes, and everything else. And then they tell you, oh, well, by the way, stop by Moderna and get a jab, and that's going to save you from COVID. Black people dying from COVID at record numbers. We cares about y'all. We wants to save y'all. We needs to get y'all the jab. Well, why weren't you trying to save black people when you were serving them all that Popeye's chicken? That's what I don't understand. Like, did you not care about black people when you were incentivizing black people to eat Popeye's chicken? Any Negro stupid enough to think these people care about you is somebody that's not even worth talking to. I feel sorry for you. I just want to get you a lobotomy because clearly you don't understand the game that's being played on you. The game is to beat you down and damn near kill you, and then present themselves as the solution to the problem that they caused. Number two, a liquor store on every corner. Drugs and alcohol have been the worst thing to ever happen to black people in the history of this country. And I do not understand for a second, with all the drunk driving accidents and all the broken down, messed up uncles we got in our families who can't even take care of their kids because they drinking so much. The NFL player this week who just got in trouble for a drunk driving accident where he killed somebody. I do not understand for the life of me why we let people put liquor stores in our neighborhoods and then somehow act like liquor and drugs are not a bad thing. You lived through the crack era, dummy. Didn't you learn nothing from the first time? How are you going to let these artists go around and constantly promote drug addiction to a community that's been devastated by drugs? How backward do we have to be to believe that that's okay? What else? Well, toxic music that incentivizes drug addiction, sexual irresponsibility, and criminal behavior. That's another way they kill black people. The last one is, of course, all the abortion clinics that exist in every hood, because the best way to get rid of a black boy and to make sure he's never a problem is to make sure he's never born in the first place. So what they do is they seek out your young kings, just like the little baby Jesus, and they try to kill little baby Jesus before he's ever born, before he ever gets a chance to live, before he ever shows his potential, before he ever gets a chance to become great. Instead, they tell him, boy, you should just become a rapper and stay high all the time. And maybe someday a white man will come along and sign you and give you a contract and give you lots of money so you could be the next Travis Scott. Well, now even the Travis Scotts are not doing so well, because I'm going to tell you this Astroworld thing. It's not like you couldn't see it coming. He's rapped about mosh pits and injuries and people getting hurt at his concerts and all that stuff. And that became a source of pride. And so now it's time to pay the piper. The lawyers tend to know how to make a lot of money. The lawyers and the feds make a lot of their money off of rappers. That's why they have the whole hip hop patrol, hip hop police. Because they know that because the rappers will rap about the guns they have, they say, well, let's just go to a studio where we know the guns are going to be there. We know the drugs are going to be there. We can get some easy arrests and go make some money. Go ask Bobby Shmurda, who just got out of jail after having guns and drugs in the studio, and they went and got him. We can get him on RICO charges because they tend to roll in cliques. So they get their guns and their drugs and their liquor, their weed, and their women, and they're doing all this in cliques and there's groups, and then that makes it easy for a RICO charge. So to some extent, what the music has done for us, it's not just kill us, but it's made us real stupid, because a lot of times it doesn't make sense to me. I've never understood why you would go kill somebody and then go rap about it. I just never understood that. If I kill somebody, I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to tell nobody. I'll take that to my grave. My wife won't even know unless I tell her and bring her in just so she can help me bury the body. She is loyal like that, but I probably save her the trouble by not telling her that I had to go to pop somebody or take them to the next life, right? But for some reason in hip hop, they got the young guys convinced that you should go and rap about the crimes that you've committed. You should go rap about the dope that you sold, because that gives you street cred. You should rap about all the things you're doing to kill yourself, so you can't even be a father. You can't even be an adequate husband. You can't be an adequate leader in the community because you're too damn high to know how to even take care of a family. So they are killing your whole generation, which means that when you talk about the number one things that are stealing black wealth in America, when you talk about the things that are taking our wealth, it ain't just how we spend our money. You're not losing your wealth just from how you're spending your money. That's the easy part. That's simple. That's the basic part. No, you're losing about $5 trillion every generation because they're taking 5 million of your young, brightest, best men and turning them into drug addicts, turning them into people that take pride in being illiterate. Guys that just don't want to be much of anything. I mean, and I'm not saying Travis Scott isn't a genius as an artist. I'm sure he's a great artist, but I don't want a son who wants to be like that. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Maybe I sound old-fashioned. I don't want a son who wants to marry a Kardashian and sit around and just try to be cool all the time. I want a son that has enough pride to say, look, I ain't trying to be cool. I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to be high all the time. I'm trying to be alert. I'm trying to be ready for white supremacy. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I want to be intelligent. What's wrong with that? Does that make me old fashioned because I would want my son to be ready for war? Because I'm gonna tell you like this: ain't no drug addict never ready for war. When you high and out of your damn mind, and you popping mollies, they could take your ass to jail in a minute. You wouldn't even know it until you got into the cell. So this is what I'm seeing here, and this is making me very sad. And I hate having to say all this, but I think somebody needs to say it because apparently the whole Black community is scared to speak out about what this music is doing to your people. There are a few people out there, still you out there, and I hear you, but I'm telling you, you can't go along with anything just because it looks cool. You got to call it for what it is. And I'm going to just tell you, a lot of this stuff you can see coming, and it's very sad, and I wish them the very best, and I want to forgive, and I want to kind of look past certain things, but some things you can't look past because this is part of a trend. This is a pattern. This has become a culture. Death has become Black culture. Black is synonymous with death. Black is synonymous with struggle. Black is synonymous with trauma. Black is synonymous with devastation. I don't think that's what it should mean to be Black. I think it should mean something different. But then again, though, maybe I'm just saying too much. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. If you want to, just so you know, I pulled together some stocks that I like for this week that I decided to add to my portfolio because you guys know I believe in Black wealth. And so if you follow, I have an Instagram page called Financial Juneteenth. If you go to Financial Juneteenth on Instagram and click on the link in the bio at the very top, there is a list of stocks that I like for this week. There's one stock. The first stock that's on that list is the one that I like the most. And there's a list of about 5 or 6 of them that I'm actually personally buying myself. So if you're interested, go to my Instagram at Financial Juneteenth. That's my financial page, and you can check that out. So I'm out of here, guys. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I'm out of here. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Peace.